All right, so now we're to surface area and volume advanced. So this is some of our trickier stuff. Anna built a prism A, out of a cube of wood. The side length of the cube measured 18 inches in length. Anna built another prism B, with the same dimensions as the cube, except she doubled its height. So she only changed one attribute. Width and length were the same, but she doubled the height. So what would that do to the volume of the two prisms? Well, it would definitely, if she doubled the height, it would double the volume. Okay? Because if you change one attribute, however you change it, that's going to do the same thing to the volume. How would the surface area of the two prisms compare? It would definitely increase, but to be able to tell how much, we'd actually have to feed that into a formula, which I could do. So since it's a cube, we can figure out what the original length, width, and height were. So let's go ahead and do volume first. So length, width, height. Length times width times height. We know, I'm going to go ahead and put all this in. Okay. We know the original was a cube, so that meant everything was exactly the same. That's 18, that's 18, and that's 18. So that means the original volume for the first cube would have been 5,832, and it would have been inches cubed. Okay. Now, if I doubled the height, so all I'm going to do here is multiply my height by 2, you're going to notice that it doubles the volume. So the volume is now 11664 inches cubed. And if you want to see that again, let me go ahead and take this out. Our original volume was 5,832. If I doubled that, it would give me 11,664, just like it did when I changed the attribute and doubled it. Okay, so now as far as my surface area, let me go ahead and put that formula in. My surface area is 2LW plus 2LH plus 2WH. Okay, for my original, with length, width, and height all being 18, that is 1,944 inches squared. That's my surface area. And I can guarantee you that my surface area is going to go up, but I can't tell you how much. Okay? But if I double the height, my surface area goes up to 3,240 inches squared. It definitely increased, but it did not double. Okay, the only thing that's gonna always follow, like say you double one side or you cut one side in half, the only thing that's ever gonna follow that is your volume. Your surface area will go up or down, but you never know by how much. All right, so let's go on to the next one. It says Chris wrapped a present with the following dimensions: length 5, width 4, height 6. So it's a rectangular pyramid, or excuse me, a rectangular prism. Henry wrapped a present that had a height that was double Chris's present's height. How much more wrapping paper will Henry need than Chris? Well, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write down Chris here, and I'm going to write down Henry. So I know the length for Chris was 5. I know the width for Chris was 4. And I know the height for Chris was 6. So now let's talk about Henry. He doubled the height. So his height would have been 6 times 2 is 12. But everything else stayed the same. So his width was 4 and his length was 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to put it in my calculator again. This is surface area because we're talking about wrapping paper. So 2LW plus 2LH plus 2WH. And again, I'm reading that straight off my formula sheet because I do not want to make a mistake. Chris's length was 5. His width was 4. And his height was 6. So Chris's surface area was 148 inches squared. So now let's try Henry's. The only thing we need to change is the height. We're going to change it to 12. The magic of Desmos calculators, let me tell you. 256 inches squared, and they want to know how much more Henry needed than Chris. So let's just put in Henry, 256 minus 148, and that means Henry needed 108 square inches more. If you look, they really try to trick you. Here's the 148 that Chris is going to need. Here's the 256 that Henry's going to need. I don't know where the 404 came from. I guess if you add those two numbers, you get 404. But 108 is the difference when you take 256 minus 148. Okay? All right, next is area and perimeter for beginners.